history of Prophet Lut as. Prophet Lut is was a prophet of Allah and the nephew of Prophet Ibrahim is. Both the Quran and the Bible mention Prophet Lut is. Let's take a detailed look at his history and events. Birth and origin. Prophet Lut was born into the family of Prophet Ibrahim in the region of Babel, Iraq. He believed in the teachings of Prophet Ibrahim and migrated with him to Canaan, present-day Palestine. The Quran mentions Prophet Lut in several places, and his history is also detailed in the Bible. Residence. Allah sent Prophet Lut as a prophet to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities were located near the Dead Sea. Sodom and Gomorrah were among the most wicked cities of that time, where people were deeply involved in immorality, wickedness, and homosexuality. Prophet Lut lived among these people and called them to the path of Allah. People and their deeds. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah were notorious for their wickedness, immorality, and homosexuality. The Quran provides a detailed account of their immoral actions. They were not only involved in homosexuality but also mistreated travelers and guests, engaged in robbery, and committed acts of violence. Their deeds were so heinous that they took pride in them and strictly rejected any attempts at reform. Their immorality was not limited to homosexuality. Their entire social system was based on oppression and corruption. They were involved in social injustice, theft, robbery, and other crimes. They completely abandoned justice, and the powerful oppressed the weak in their society. Their markets were rife with dishonesty and deceit, and they openly defied Allah's commandments. Their tradition of hospitality had also deteriorated. They tortured and mistreated travelers and guests and looted their belongings. When the angels, disguised as guests, visited Prophet Lut the wicked men of the city surrounded his house, intending to commit indecent acts with the guests. This incident highlighted the extreme depravity and immorality of the people. The people of Sodom and Gomorrah not only rejected the teachings of Prophet Lut but also mocked and threatened him. They accused him of meddling in their social and sexual affairs and threatened to expel him from the city. Their rebellion and disobedience had reached such an extent that they thwarted all attempts at reform and took pride in their wickedness. The Quran condemns their actions severely. In Surah Al-Araf, Allah says, "And Lut, when he said to his people, 'Do you commit such immorality as no one has preceded you with from among the worlds? Indeed, you approach men with desire instead of women. Rather, you are a transgressing people.'" Al-Araf 80-81. Similarly, their sins and wickedness are mentioned in Surah Hud as well. Prayer of Prophet Lut Prophet Lut distressed by the behavior and sins of his people, prayed to Allah for help and deliverance from these wicked people. He pleaded to Allah to bring down a punishment upon his people as a recompense for their sins. Punishment and destruction. Allah accepted the prayer of Prophet Lut and decided to inflict a severe punishment on his people. Angels visited Prophet Lut and instructed him to leave the city at night with his family without looking back. Allah destroyed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, overturning them and showering them with stones of baked clay. The Quran describes this punishment in these words: "So when our command came, we made the highest part of the city its lowest and rained upon them stones of layered hard clay." Hud 82, "And we made the highest part of the city its lowest and rained upon them stones of hard clay." Al-Hijr 74. Descendants and subsequent prophets. No prophet came from the lineage of Prophet Lut After Prophet Lut AS, the subsequent prophets included Prophet Ishaq AS, son of Prophet Ibrahim AS, and Prophet Yaqub AS. Prophet Ishaq AS had two sons, Prophet Yaqub AS and Esau. Prophet Yaqub AS, also known as Israel, was the forefather of the Israelites. Prophet Yaqub AS had 12 sons, who became the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel. Among these 12 sons was Prophet Yusuf AS, whose story is detailed in the Quran. The lineage of Prophet Ibrahim AS included many other prophets, such as Prophet Yusuf AS, Prophet Musa AS, Prophet Harun AS, Prophet Harun AS, Prophet Dawood AS, Prophet Sulaiman AS, Prophet Zechariah AS, Prophet Zachariah AS, or Prophet Yahya AS, and Prophet Isaiah AS. These prophets were sent to guide and reform the Israelites. Both the Quran and the Bible mention these prophets, and their stories provide us with guidance on the path of Allah. References in the Quran and the Bible. References to Prophet Lut AS in the Quran. Surah Hud, and when our messengers came to Lut, he was distressed for them and felt for them great discomfort, and said, "This is a trying day." Hud 77-83. This passage mentions the arrival of the angels to Prophet Lut AS and the reaction of his people. Surah Al-Araf and Lut, when he said to his people, "Do you commit such immorality as no one has preceded you with from among the worlds? Indeed, you approach men with desire instead of women. Rather, you are a transgressing people." Al-Araf 80-84. This passage highlights the immorality and wickedness of Prophet Lut's AS people. Surah Ash-Shu'ara, when their brother Lut said to them, "Will you not fear Allah? Indeed, I am to you a trustworthy messenger. So fear Allah and obey me." Ash-Shu'ara 160-175. This passage includes Prophet Lut AS admonishing his people and warning them of Allah's punishment. References to Prophet Lut AS in the Bible. Genesis 19:1-3, the two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning." This passage describes the arrival of the angels and Prophet Lut's AS hospitality. Genesis 19:4-5, before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." This passage highlights the depravity and immorality of the people of Sodom. Genesis 19:6-8, Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." This passage shows Prophet Lut's AS desperate attempt to protect his guests. Genesis 19:12-13, the two men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place." The outcry to the Lord against his people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it. This passage mentions the angels warning to Prophet Lut AS about the impending destruction. Genesis 19:15-17, with the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of his 2 daughters, and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. This passage describes the angels leading Prophet Lut and his family out of the city. Genesis 19:24-25. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities and also the vegetation in the land. This passage details the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The story of Prophet Lut teaches us to avoid immoral actions and adhere to the commandments of Allah. It also demonstrates that the prophets of Allah strive tirelessly to guide their people, and those who reject their message ultimately face divine punishment. The life and preaching of Prophet Lut remind us to be patient and steadfast in the path of righteousness, regardless of the difficulties we may encounter. The accounts of Prophet Lut in both the Quran and the Bible emphasize the importance of enduring challenges with patience and striving to align our actions with the will of Allah.